Hey guys, how's everybody doing? It's what is today? Gosh, Wednesday, August 7th. It's been a while since I did a video, but felt like I needed to do something in light of some of the recent happenings in our country. I want to talk about a little bit of a commentary on my part, maybe. Give you an update on where I am, some things I'm really looking forward to from the journey, and from some of the folks that meant so much to me along the way that I stay in touch with. So anyway, let's get right to the meat of things here. It's an amazing thing that's happening in our country right now with these mass shootings. Dayton, Ohio, nine victims. El Paso, Texas, 22 victims, I believe. Egregious, sociopathic behavior, hate-filled. It's crazy. It's just crazy. But the thing that triggered my mind, or what really prompted me to want to do this video, was what I heard driving home from work yesterday morning. They're talking about the Walmart situation in El Paso and the Dayton, Ohio situation, and they're talking about it with this grandiosity which it deserves. And then later in the newscast on the radio, they mentioned that in Chicago this weekend, 7 people were killed and 46 people were injured by gunfire. And they moved on. And that's kind of the point that I want to make in my commentary today. I have a phrase that prompted my journey called "point the thumb, not the finger." I hate people that stand outside the fire and yell fire. Provide a solution. Figure out a way. I like to try to have some ideas sometimes that can do that. I have none when it comes to guns. I don't think you can control them. I don't think that we can manage them. For every sociopath out there that can get his hands on a weapon, there's 1,000 responsible gun owners that love their guns and are completely, responsible. It's no different than I'm looking in a parking lot right now. I'm in a ball field. I see 30 cars in my vision. All right, you're gonna have 200 cars out there, responsible drivers, but you got the one sociopath that wants to go to the bar and get hammered and put other people's lives in jeopardy. Right? You don't outlaw cars. I don't have an answer. I'm just trying to put things in perspective. But I think the thing that really is alarming to me isn't that we don't give credence and certainly a moderate to maximum amount of attention to these mass shootings by sociopaths. What bothers me is how relaxed we've become, how lax we've become, how accepting we've become of the everyday gunfire. Like I said, one of the moments that was one of the most trepidatious moments I had on my journey was when I was going into Chicago. I specifically picked out an area where there was a lot of unrest, and everybody, but one person who was a writer for a paper outside of Valparaiso, Indiana, he kind of gave me directions and told me how to get there. But everybody else was that concerned and said, "Don't go." They truly feared for my safety. I stopped in the thing and did a video, and I met 2 young people and said, "Is it bad as they make it seem?" And they live in Indiana. I said, "Yeah, it is." And that's the part that scares me. Think about Chicago this weekend. Beautiful, world-famous city in our country. 7 dead, 46 injured. That's a whole lot of guns. That wasn't one shooting. Those were multiple incidents. And that's where the problem lies with me. The sociopaths, unfortunately, are always going to be. They just are. Like I said, I don't have the answer, and I don't mean to sound shallow or lax about it. Certainly tragic, by all means tragic. But I don't know that this is a solution to eliminate a 22-year-old in Dayton that targets his sister along with 8 other people. I don't know how you eliminate. The crazed gunman down in El Paso. No different. And I liken this because I just made my kids watch the Oklahoma City documentary that I watched on my journey, because Oklahoma City was really an overwhelmingly emotional visit for me, and brought a lot of light and education to myself that I didn't know about. And I know, as usual, I'm jumping all over the place with my discussion, but you know, you never know what's going to trigger somebody. Oklahoma City, Timothy McVeigh was triggered because he thought the government was too involved with Ruby Ridge and Waco, and he was going to teach them a lesson. You know, we have literally hundreds of millions of people in our country. How are we going to get inside everybody's mind? You know, as a side point, this is kind of, again, just a ridiculous thing as an analogy, but some insight to me maybe. You know, for some reason, I tend to gravitate to things after the fact, music, because I get caught up in the groups that are listening to them more, and I don't give it a chance until later. For example, I only knew like 2 Eminem songs for the longest time. I think the guy's brilliant. I'm a 52-year-old, 51-year-old. How old am I? 51-year-old man. I probably started listening to him only about 5 years ago, and I absolutely love the guy. Does he curse and swear and say some misogynistic things? Yes, but my point is this. He's a rapper. He's not telling me to go do anything. He's expressing himself, his beliefs, his words. You know, everybody right now wants to blame the divisiveness of our political environment right now on feeding what happened down in El Paso. And maybe it did. And maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. Again, we'll never know. We'll never know what triggered this guy and his hate for, apparently from what I'm reading, he's targeted minorities at Walmart. Again, Timothy McVeigh in Oklahoma City didn't target anybody but the government, and he wanted to hurt as many people as he could that were employed by the government. That's why he chose the Murrah building. I apologize, I'm at a ballpark, so a bunch of kids are going to be running by here in a few minutes here. But anyway, that's kind of my point, is, you know, I don't have an answer, and it bothers me. It really bothers me that I don't have an answer. I don't know if anybody does. But what I can acknowledge and can tell you, beyond any shadow of a doubt, is it's not going away. All right, guns are not going to be eliminated. You know, there's already a black market for guns. You start eliminating certain kinds or certain this or certain that, there'll be a black market for that. If people want to get them, they'll get them. The same way anybody gets steroids or heroin or whatever else they want to get that's illegal. There's always going to be the person who wants to get them will get them. All right, now will it make it more difficult for a 22-year-old kid to walk into a gun store, buy a gun, and 3 days later go shoot somebody up? Yes, some regulation will do that, but guys, it's not going to eliminate the problem. But what I really want to ask ourselves and have you ask yourself, and the point of my whole video so far has been this: certainly pay tribute to the victims of these senseless killings, okay? But ask yourself, why is it we've become so numb and so accustomed to the everyday, to the every weekend updates? In Baltimore, these many people, in Philadelphia, in New York, in Chicago, in LA. Why do we just accept that? Why does that not call for the outrage? It bothers me that our politicians, I don't want to say all of them, and I don't want to say never, because I'm not involved with politics to know what goes on in terms of introducing bills down in the legislature, but you know, the politicians only seem to have their videos and only seem to get their press conferences in the aftermath of a sociopath. They don't pick up a paper on a Monday morning and go, well, holy shit, Chicago had 7 more people get shot and 46 people get wounded. You know, maybe there's a problem here. You know, that's the part that bothers me. That's the part that bothers me about society, not just with guns, with what I talked about in my journey, indifference, friendships, friendliness. You know, we've become so apathetic to some of these things that it's just crazy, you know, and that's what I'm hoping you guys will get from my message from this part, is certainly pay tribute to the victims of the sociopaths. But you know what, there's a lot of other people that deserve, you know, to be not recognized, but remembered, honored, and questioned. Why does that happen? You know, why does a city have that many guns, that much violence? And it's every city in America, and it's other cities around the world, I presume. Again, I go back to, you know, maybe the Middle East and things like that. What's up, Bobby? Give me 1 second, man. So that's part of what really puzzles me, is that, you know, we just seem so apathetic to it all. We just turn a deaf ear, and if it doesn't impact our own little world, then it doesn't really impact us. And that's what I'm hoping we need to change. So enough said about that. I do want to give you guys a couple updates. This weekend I'm doing something I'm really excited, really excited. So I'm finally getting back with my family for a weekend to go meet. I'm a little disappointed in this regard. I was hoping to meet a lot more folks. That I met along my journey. But a big part of my journey was in the Ohio, Indiana area. And I'm going to be heading to see some people I met on the journey. We're leaving probably late Thursday, early Friday to head up to Ohio. Phil Vassar's playing at a concert at the Salina Fair. I'm going to meet some great folks, introduce them to my family. Following Saturday, a gentleman I met on the journey is a tour guide at the Ohio Reformatory where they filmed Shawshank Redemption. We might have breakfast with another family that we talked to and introduced my family to them. So I'm looking forward to meeting the Reddings and Margie the Death Defier, and you'll read about her in my book, and you'll read about Scott Redding and his family. You're going to read about Max Bucyrus, Max Miller, and his dad. Maybe the coolest dude I ever met, and I'm hoping to meet them for breakfast Saturday. Tom Lane is just a great guy with a great story that we're going to be heading to the Ohio Reformatory for the tour. Then, to get this, we're returning Saturday night, and then Sunday, Phil Vassar, who's playing with Eddie Montgomery, his partner Troy Gentry, tragically died in a helicopter accident a couple of years ago. Phil's playing with them at the fairs, then coming to Lancaster, PA, about 30 minutes from where I live, and doing a free concert. And in addition to me bringing my family there, many people who either I've met or haven't met locally that supported me, sent emails or maybe some news coverage, that sent positive words to me that I haven't had a chance to get out and say thank you to and reach out and shake their hand, are going to come out, and we're going to get together and say hello to each other and have a great time and watch the Phil Vassar concert. The one in Ohio, I believe, is Friday evening, I think 7 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock. The one in Longs Park, Lancaster, PA is starts at 7:30 p.m. So it should just be really a great weekend. A lot of travel, a lot of driving, but I'm really excited to have my family see some of the places that I stopped at, some of the folks I met, and all that good. Here comes the brigade of the crowd again here. Anyway, guys, so thanks for following. Hope I'm not too preachy. Just want to keep you thinking a little bit. Oh, I have to leave you with this. My son dropped this one on me. I tell a lot of corny jokes. I guess they're called dad jokes these days. And he read one that he wanted to share with me, and it definitely made me smile because I love him. So here was his dad joke for today. I went to bed dreaming of being a muffler, but I woke up exhausted. So anyway, guys, I love you. Thanks for following. I know my videos are few and further between, just because, like I said, I try not to be too preachy and waste your time. I usually wait for something that I feel is valid or valuable to say. So keep following. Book not quite done yet. I wish I had a better news for you with that, but it's not quite done yet. We're real close, but not there. So I love you guys. Thanks for following. Remember to point the thumb, not the finger. Ask yourself what accountability, what you did to contribute to a situation, and maybe we'll all be in a better place. All right? Thanks, guys. Have a great day.